Hello, Virgo. Welcome or welcome back to my Body and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do the reading for June 2020. Welcome to June 2020. The season of eclipses started. We have a number of planets in retrograde, so it's quite of an intense month. I'm not going to do an astrology report here. Let's get on with your reading. I hope you're well, Virgo. This is a general reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. If it resonates, it resonates. And if it doesn't, then it's just not your reading. Alright. Let's see what's going on with my dear Virgo. So you have the Five of Pentacles as your current energy. Right. Let's see what's your challenge. Two of Cups as your challenge. Okay. It's your advice. Death is advised. And Five of Swords is future energy. Two fives. And the Eight of Swords is bottom of the deck, which is the theme of the reading of this month of June. Alright. I'm going to pull out some clarifiers for you from this new deck I just got and I'm very happy about. Still learning with it, so hold your horses. Okay, so you have the Three of Cups and the Mother of Cups with the Five of Pentacles as your current energy, and I think this is like this. All right. And you have Two of Wands with the Two of Cups as your challenge. Interesting. Why is Death coming here as advice? The High Priestess have three twos here. Interesting. So the High Priestess with Death is your advice. And then why is the Five of Swords here as future energy? What's this all about? Okay, you've got quite a few here. So you have the Ten of Wands. Look at these cards, they're so pretty. Oh, there's a bit too many here. But okay, I'll take them now. So you have with the Five of Swords, the Ten of Wands, the Ace of Swords, the Devil, Ace of Pentacles, and Judgment. An army of cards as your future energy. And bottom of the deck, you have Justice to go along with your theme. Leo just had Justice as well in their theme. And that's a very interesting one. I really like this card. And I like the way, we're fixating usually on what is just, what is correct, what is the right thing to do. And we always assume one side. We can fall into the trap of one-sidedness. I like that there's this black and white thing, and that this one actually, what's this diamond here in the center where the swords point at is actually the opposite as the two cats. Also, I like that they're cats, right? Because cats are, in Tower symbolism, they're known to be able to contact the other world, the world of the spirit. They are kind of gatekeepers of sorts. With the Eight of Swords, by the way, this is 8, this is 8. Why is this 8? Huh. Interesting. So in this deck, the major arcana cards are differently numbered. Because 8 should be, normally it's strength. And never mind, that doesn't matter. What matters here is that this is 8 and this is 8, right? And I like that you have this one sword here which shows clarity. And it's also kind of like really pointing at this core, which is black and white. And it's splitting between these two cats. It's like creating this space. And you see everything kind of goes on to create this different worlds almost, different directions, different dimensions. The two cats are actually holding joining tails here, which show that they're basically part of the same thing. We do have this duality in our perception. We function on dual, from a very, very dual perspective, right? Everything is good or bad, black or white, you name it. But we need one in order to have the other. You can't recognize good without the bad and bad without the good. You can't recognize light without the dark and dark without light. And you can't make anything with just one. For example, look, just in order for us to see all this, we couldn't have seen it if we had only light. We'd be blinded. We wouldn't see anything. We need shadow just as much. This is how these things start being seen and taking place. And we see them with our mechanisms, with our apparatus. It's a very relative way of seeing things, right? I'm sure a lizard perceives these colors in a very different way and maybe in a very different shape, in a way it's evolutionary useful for them. But see, we can get stuck in our mind so much and we get blindfolded by our thoughts and our very sometimes stubborn way of thinking in this duality and taking this duality as an authority. Like as if this is the only truth. This is the absolute truth, the fact that there is black and white. And we get blinded by taking one side or another and getting really literally stuck in the prison of our minds. This is the very definition of human condition, actually. And it's interesting because we are all working here. That's why you're here. That's why you're here to read your, to understand your journey better. Because we're working on deconditioning ourselves. We're working at evolution and evolution of consciousness and things like this, right? As Buddhist traditions all over the world had, different traditions, not just one. Buddhism in general talks about such thing called non-duality and about relative reality versus absolute reality and the ability, the developed ability to perceive both at the same time, to see both through the lenses of the human and through the human senses, but also beyond the duality of our existence. Understanding that it's just a way to look at the world. Just as much as if I have a black and white camera, I can only take black and white pictures. If I have a camera that can take color pictures, then I can see the other colors too. But it's a matter of lenses. It's a matter of how what we're equipped with. But we cannot get fooled by our mind telling me that if my camera says that I can only see black and white, that it must be that the whole world is black and white. So yeah, this is a very important topic, and I think that it's actually very congruent with what we are living today. If you look at the world, if you look at what's happening, if you look about justice being blindfolded, and it can take so many forms, and now it takes a very particular form, talking about racism, talking about color, because we keep talking colors here, apparently talking about white privilege, talking about all this. Okay, I don't want to go into it too much because it's your reading and it's you make of this whatever you want, but think about these things too. How are you perceiving them? Are you one-sided? Are you getting stuck in one way of thinking and a prison of your mind? Are you able to look beyond the duality and see what is the lesson that humanity learns out of this? And also relationship between the victim and the oppressor. The oppressor, where do they come from? Where does the victim coming from, and so on? It's a heavy topic. I know, and this is not an easy energy. The Eight of Swords is, as I said, it's feeling blindfolded and feeling like it's really very tight, and you're all alone there, and left out in the cold. There's no one there to help. That's how it feels. Constrained and stuck. Keep in mind, though, the wisdom is that this is the prison of your mind. There's no one there to hold her prisoner either. And the point is to see this take this one sword that brings clarity about this dual thinking, and help you empower yourself with this one sword only, not eight thoughts, swords, paradigms that are running around in your head and confuse you. It's also about coming into your body, and you know think this, like perceive this not only from your mind level, which right now is not exactly helping you, but use the intelligence of your body. Understand where you overextend yourself, understand where you need more rest, feel what needs to be felt, connect to the earth, connect to your senses. This will really help you get unstuck. Mindfulness of the body. All right, my dear, that was a really long intro, but and I'm not even sure if I covered it all, but it is what it is. It's the messages come as they come. So you have the Five of Pentacles is your current energy, along with the Three of Cups and the Mother of Cups. And so yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of connected if you think about this feeling of separation, this feeling of being stuck, this feeling of being tight, this feeling of being the underdog. This is your experience, nothing wrong with it. This is your experience right now. I'm not here to argue about how you feel or if that's right or not. I'm here to actually validate, in a sense, this with compassion. The Mother of Cups talks about compassion and about empathy and about, a lot of kindness and emotional intelligence. And the Three of Cups talks about connection, actually, connection with other people at an emotional level. So I believe that there's a part of you that truly feels abandoned, isolated. And also there may be like financial difficulties and a lot of uncertainty. Fives are riddled with uncertainty. And come on, given that the current climate in the world, it's something that at least you're not alone. There's a big reason for it. It's coming from state of the world as it is. On the other hand, this is in a way also an illusion. The Five of Wands, the Five of what's this, Pentacles, brings this other wisdom. It says that help is available. Sometimes we can get too focused on what is it that we lack, or what is it that where we are being cut off. And I believe that this Three of Cups and the Mother of Cups come exactly to tell you this, that there is help available. There is a possibility for connection one way or another, whether you connect through a cause of justice, whether you connect through with other people from a shared experience of being abandoned or being rejected or being left out into the cold or being stuck into a cycle of the mind that takes too long, and how that feels. There is support available. And the most important part here is to relate to yourself from this place of the Mother of Cups, of compassion. Whether it is to the part of yourself that feels lost and confused and rejected, whether it is to the part of you that's judging that, because we always tend to judge ourselves that I'm not this enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not beautiful enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not resourceful enough, whatever it is that you're making up there. Be compassionate to that too. Be compassionate to the lost sides, to the inner critic, to the everything that you experience. Bring loving kindness to all these aspects of yourself. And reach out to the circle that you can understand through shared experience, through shared compassion. Compassion is the key here somehow. Apparently, though, it is challenging for you to relate to, say, your fellow human being. And I get it, when we get stuck like this in our minds, it feels very, again, isolating. These, both of them are two cards of isolation. And sometimes from that state or feeling of very isolated, it's very hard to even look at another people's face or in their eyes. Or sometimes even the shared experience can feel sort of like, yeah, I know I'm not the only one. Thank you very much. It can feel almost patronizing, or can feel like, and I don't know. I've been there. I don't know if that's exactly your experience, but I've experienced sometimes that I was feeling so isolated and so alienated from fellow humans. And even though I was at some point in a community group, and we were all working on ourselves, we were all practicing mindfulness, we were all having a very safe space for us to process our own experiences with therapists and all that. It was a really, really good place for us to just unravel ourselves and be present with our pain. It was a mindfulness center, if you ask. It was not a sanitarium or something like that. And sometimes I would feel like I was able to connect with the others and understand their pain and be happy to share and listen other people's stories would inspire me or so on. But sometimes I would just feel like so impossible for me to connect. I could not relate to anyone. And even it could have been like a mirror of me in front of me, and I could not relate to that either. It could have been anyone. And that's because of the mind, and that's because of our perception. Two of Wands is also here to tell you that this is a choice. It may not look like it. You may not look like it, and it will take you a while for you to realize how is this actually a choice, because you need to reframe a little bit of these thought patterns that are keeping you stuck. And especially where trauma is present, it's very difficult to find that window of choice, that window of opportunity, where you can see how bringing a different action, interaction, I don't know, maybe sometimes taking the first step in connecting with others, not expecting others to always come and connect with you, maybe making a gesture of vulnerability and things like this can actually slowly create that opportunity of choice. By the way, my heart space vibrating as I'm saying this. I think there's great value in you looking at this. This is the challenge that will be overcome in order for you to really grow. This is what you are intended to work with in your process. The advice is very interesting. The advice is telling you that there's something that you need to let go of, and you have resistance against that. It may be just being too long in this space of isolation and separation from the rest, and maybe starting to identify yourself with that. Maybe you're identifying with the underdog a little bit too much at some point, or with the overthinking things and not um dismissing the other experience because somehow, yeah, you're not there, you can't connect, you can't relate. That would be one thing that you may have to let go of. Or you may have to let go for certain habits or certain, oh, you name it, baby. There can be so much that sometimes we have resistance to let go. And the thing is with death here, I think you are somewhat aware of that, what that might be. You have as an advice the high priestess. I love that she's a tigress. The moon is over there. She's very, the high priestess is very knowledgeable. She's the gatekeeper between this world and the world of the spirit again. And you have the cats too. This is a feline as well. Something with cats. We have cats around. You may want to may have a special connection with your pet cat if you have cats, or you may find or get a cat or things like that. But let's not go too much into that. I have cat that is spirit animal. I don't know. The point is that there seems to be a lot of available information for you if you allow yourself to slow down and really put your gaze within. What's the world within you? What's going on in there? What's going on in this prison of the mind? I forgot to mention this, like especially the main indicator that there's help available is that this is a church, and these two people here which are wounded and damaged and unable to, like, they're poor, they don't have clothes, they don't have shoes, that they're very unfortunate in their experience at the time. They're so overwhelmed by this experience that they don't notice that they can actually take refuge in this church. Maybe they will, I don't know. But by the looks of it, they're so immersed in that experience. And, not necessarily that I'm promoting church or something like that. It's just a symbol, the symbol of sanctuary, the symbol of um, receiving help. Are you also open to receive help once help is available? So check on that resistance. See what is it that you're really resisting, and see what is it that you're unwilling to feel, what you're unwilling to experience in your mind. Like whenever you think like, okay, what help is available for me, automatically some resistance will come up. Look into that. And I would say meditate in this period. I'm sure that many of you watchers, viewers of these tarot readings are meditating, are yogis, doing all kind of practices. That's what this movement is all about, right? It's a revolution of consciousness, and implies some type of training and commitment and being present with oneself. The High Priestess is an indicator that you really need to look within. Look at what is it that you're reflecting outside of yourself, and what are the type of experience that you're attracting based on the wound that needs to be healing. Because when we are attracting a certain experience, it's not because we deserve it or we done something wrong. It's because there's a wound that needs healing deep down inside, and you can bring that to it. So there's a really tapping into your intuition and tapping into that part of you that's connected to the infinity, to the collective consciousness, to the infinite wisdom, the divine. You can tap into that and allow the transformation to take place. As your advice. Now we have Five of Swords as your future energy, with the Ten of Wands, Ace of Swords, the Devil, Ace of Pentacles, and Judgment. Okay, I'm gonna do this so you can actually see them. see, Five of Swords talks about victories, but victories that are hard won. Sometimes we need to do things that we're not so proud of in order to win. And sometimes we just want to win for the sake of winning. Which one is it? I guess for the end of the month in that period, this question will come up. Where am I acting from self-righteousness and thinking that I just need to be right? On when we are fully present and adaptable and able to shift our perspective if new information comes through and so on. But I have the feeling that this time, in this particular reading, the Five of Swords is more like telling you sometimes we need to do things that are a bit harsher in order to, say, cut people off that are unhealthy for us or things like this, in order for us to move on, you know. I do see these two aces here, the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Swords is what you really want here, what you really need. You know, you want to end the cycle of the mind, go through or beyond all the other steps of the 9 and the 10, which are the ego's resistance to whatever it is that you need to embrace and let go of. And justice comes as you do open your mind to the new cycle. Again, there's this infinity here, which was like a very multicolored snake. Is that a snake? Or whatever that is. And there's the lightning. It's like that moment where the awakening just strikes you. A new idea. Something that you have never thought of. It's an insight. And the Ace of Pentacles brings in real opportunity, real life, real world opportunity. Having the Twin of Wands here are also telling me that there's a clear end of a spiritual cycle as this is unfolding, as you are finally letting go of that resistance and allow for surrender and look within truly exactly for what it is. It's an end of a spiritual cycle, and you won't need to keep staying in this cycle, you know. You can go to the next one, which now feels heavy, which now feels hard, and you feel tired and you feel overburdened with it. But there's true opportunity here. There's like this waking up, this little deep insight. I don't know if it's little or big, doesn't matter. It's that insight that allows you to cut yourself free from the prison of the mind and from this illusion of the separation, and connect back to your desires, to your needs, to your wisdom that comes from having an open mind and allowing yourself to truly understand what good and bad really means. The devil makes us think again about the other extreme, but that's just an extreme of the mind. We are creating in our minds the concept of good or bad. And we're creating the evil into the world through that. And through our fears and resistances. I don't know if that's going to make sense to you. I mean, it's a really difficult message to deliver, I'm sorry to say. I hope the oracle is going to shed some light on this to explain it better. That's what usually happens when I'm falling short with words and expression. But the devil is an energy of the mind. It's understanding that we, again, it's that dual thinking that focuses on the one-sidedness, in this case, the dark one. But actually, we need to understand, like when you actually have the devil card, It's an understanding of the evil as a concept again, and it's just something abstract. And between light and dark, between the angels and the demons, between all that, there's everything in between. And there is no absolute good or absolute evil either. That's the whole like yin and yang type of, this is white, this is black, and so on, you know. There's and yeah, it's a really good one actually, because you also have the judgment, right? Judgment is about being able to truly arise above a paradigm. Traditionally, it's depicted the angel Raphael waking the dead up from the tombs, and that shows like, okay, yes, we've been into this particular life story, and now it's a moment of awakening, and I can assess clearly where I'm at in my soul journey. What is it that I'm doing? What is it that I need to repeat, and what is it that I can let go of? What lessons I've learned, and what cycle do I need to continue or want to step into. You can have this type of awareness when you end a cycle like this, when you finally understand why you had to have a certain experience, and it doesn't feel as heavy as this 10 of wands feels to you right now. So it's actually a really beautiful journey. I'm really hyped about it. I hope that, because it's escape from your prison, you know, it's an escape from your prison. But yeah, for that you need to be able to look within and let go of what is it that you have resistance to let go of. Okay, let's see what the oracle has to say. I think I can safely put this up a bit again. What is the message for my dear Virgo? The dissolving light. Oh my god, this actually does make a lot of sense. I'll read it for you. Number 3. There's 3 twos here, and the twos talk about the birth of duality, right? And about your emotional realm, and about this you know, intuition and the subconscious. There's a lot having to do with this gate. They also create the gate to the other world. The other world doesn't mean necessarily the world of the dead or something like that. More having to do with the world of what's beyond the known, and the wisdom that comes from, not from your mind, but from your gut, from your heart, from the connection that you have with the source. Okay, I'll read this first before keep going with this. Okay, so the dissolving light, the poem from Rumi says, I died as a mineral and became a plant. I died as a plant and rose to animal. I died as animal and I became human. Why should I fear anything? When was I ever less by dying? Seriously, you can't make this shit up. Seriously, like, you have death as your advice. And the high priestess, which is like that deep inner wisdom from within yourself. When was I ever less by dying? Okay, I'll read. I think I'm gonna go really with most of it, because I think it really needs to explain this. So there is a light so intense, so powerful, that nothing other than itself, its own truth, can exist in its presence. It is the sacred seed, the star of your being, lit up from within. See, like from within. It is the light that never goes out. It is the light that is so powerful, it is beyond duality of dark and light. Yes. So beautiful. I'm getting so excited when I see these This perfect fit sometimes. I hope you see it too, and it's not just in the. I mean, for me, like it's so clear. Okay. So sorry, I will read that again. It is the light that is so powerful, it is beyond duality of light and dark, cannot ever be extinguished or diminished, and quite simply beyond all logic, just is. Certainly no lie or deception, no boundary or defense can remain intact in its presence. Definitely not this prison of the mind. The blazing divinity of this light stares through any pretense, annihilates illusions, and takes us into stark experience of divine truth. It is gentlest, and yet it cannot be overcome. Wait, what? It is gentleness. Gentleness, not gentlest. Sorry. It is gentleness, and yet it cannot be overcome. It is enduring power, and yet it is tender. Though you seek the divine and even know it as love, you also know that it's fierce, wild, inexplicable, and demanding beyond all measure. It wants you completely, utterly, without condition. There will be times in your life, such as now, when there is something not worthy of you that must be released. Yes. Yes. This is a falsehood, a lie or deception of some sort that you have come to believe about yourself, your life, or perhaps even another. 5. This 8 of swords, this feeling trapped, and the 5 of pentacles, which is the rejected or somehow that you're damaged. You may know what that deception is, or it may be about to be unveiled. It is not a cause for fear or concern, but for celebration. An illusion has or soon will be released, and you shall become freer, free in a way that only truth can provide. This oracle comes to you as a sign of that which is to come, and soon the beloved divine presence is calling to you, igniting within your deepest being so that it may have its way with you. The divine wishes to live through you and into the world, reaching into the hearts of many and igniting those hearts into greater life. It is a clever and insatiable lover. It will stop at nothing until the entire human race is restored to the wild divine freedom of ecstatic divine reunion, completely and utterly ignited in love. Okay, so here is your guidance. Give it up, the smallness, the conditions, the fears and doubts, the lack of reverence for yourself and life, the belief that somehow things are not okay or aren't going to work out. That is all a paltry attempt at truth. You are coming into a truth now that is far more worthy of you, a truth with a capital T, the big truth. Love, trust, surrender. This is about the sacred shedding without fear or holding back. Cast aside whatever would hold you back rather than free you to fly into your divine destiny. You are not to be the same from this moment on. That is a holy word, the word inscribed in living divine fire in your sacred heart. This oracle brings you guidance. Trust in your changing perspective and perceptions. Yes, that's why you have the justice here and sword. Where is the ace of swords here? Trust in your changing perspective and perceptions. Don't hold on to what you once believed or thought to be true. Allow yourself to be shown another version of events, another way of perceiving. Don't focus on what is not working in your current estimation of things, but that is nothing more than a passing opinion. You are being given an opportunity to see and know yourself, others in a particular life circumstances very differently. Embrace it. Don't resist what is being shown to you, for even if there are some struggles in adjusting your view at first, ultimately this change in perception will free you and bring you more deeply into the wellspring of your own inner peace and happiness. This is freedom, baby. This is letting go of that particular pattern that you've been holding on to for so long, probably. All right, so there's a ritual here that I'm going to read. If you feel the call to do it, do it. If not, up to you. So place both hands on your heart and say the following aloud. The eternal light of Rumi burns through that which is unworthy and frees me into unconditional love and truth now. I am blessed by the grace of this sacred brother, and I open my heart to the tender fire of passionate presence. Through merciful compassion and my own free will, I ask to be shown the greater truth that will set me free. So be it. Relax with your hands on your heart for as long as it feels good. When you are ready, simply open your eyes. You have completed your ritual. You can repeat this anytime you feel the need to let go of a self-limiting behavior, judgment, or of a person or situation that drains rather than leaves you feeling vibrant and free, or beliefs that deplete and depress you rather than open you up to loving on endless possibilities. This ritual is a way to tap into supportive grace to assist you in that conscious surrender. You will be blessed, beloved. Oh, that's beautiful. I really, really am excited for you. Don't be afraid. I know it's not easy. I know. I've been there and I go there every once in a while. We all do. We're humans and it's a natural process. Be as kind and as gentle with yourself as you can through this process while at the same time following the guidance that is deep within yourself. You're going to be okay. Thank you so much for being here, Virgo, and I hope this reading makes sense to you. If it does, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment the way you relate to the experience, and yeah, get engaged. Thanks again, and may our practice benefit all beings. I'll see you here next month.